basically, um, can you hear me? Let me share my entire screen. Can you see my screen? Okay. Okay, we'll be looking at, I'll be making use of this W3 platform to explain in details like the basics that we need to know first. Can you hear me? Huh?
Yes, we
Hello,
can hear
teacher.
you.
Okay. Okay, very well. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
All right. Let me continue. So I said I'll be making use of this W3 school platform to explain in details like the basic concepts that we need to know. Okay, let me just like do a kind of an introduction. Um, let me do a kind of an introduction. Okay, come on, carry it. Don't cancel it though. It's still training. Just continue. Just carry it. Look,
I should
could you
minimize
join
it.
us? Eh?
I should minimize it.
No, no, just minimize. Minimize. Don't cancel it. Yeah.
You have started now.
If just like just quickly join the class. Okay. So I said let's do a kind of an introduction on what Python is. I think it's good. Let me start this way. I think can you hear me clearly? I'm recording this class. Just if you can hear me, just say I can. Just respond. Let me know. Hello, can you hear me? Hello. Just a response so I can continue.
We
You're
can hear
having
you,
a,
sir.
Okay. So I said let me
you're having
start.
a multiple screen.
Okay. Let me start with an introduction. So what is Python? Now in there's what we call programming languages. Now, what programming languages does is that they have the ability to kind of um, command a computer to carry out a specific task. So, what does that? Like, what it kind of commands a computer? Because a computer is just like a mobile. So you can command it to carry out an action. So one of the things that helps to carry out such thing is a programming language. So Python is a programming language, and there are different programming languages. We have the high level programming language, and we have the low level programming language. Now, Python falls under high level programming language. Now, high level programming language in the sense that now in the um the code itself is written in a human readable language, a human readable form, in the sense that you can take a look at the code, at any Python code, you can read it and understand what is actually going on within the code. Yes, it's human readable, you can read it, it's in form of text. But low level languages are written in zeros and ones, and we also have assembly languages and the rest of them. But basically Python falls under high level programming language. Now it can be used for different purposes. Now Python can be used for both web development, can be used for software development, can be used for system scripting, to write scripts like, and you can write a script that can crawl a web to extract information, to extract data, like data extraction. You can write a Python script that can help to do that. You can also write a Python script that performs a specific function. So Python is also used for data analysis, for and also in machine learning. So that is like these areas are just the what I say the standard application domain where Python can be used. But for this workshop, I think I've actually explained this earlier on, but I just have to do this explanation. So let's look at what can Python do. First, Python can be used on a server to create web applications. Yes, I make use of Django to create web applications. So let me just show you an example of web application that we can use Django for. We can use Python for. So this application is going to open this now. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I can
We
continue.
can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, I can continue. Okay. Now,
Yes, I can hear you.
all right. So I'm just trying to open like a.
I can hear you, sir.
Okay, so I just want to show you an example of a web application that we use Python for.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now this one is now. This is Django. This application is Django. So Django is a Python framework. A Python framework that is used for building web applications, both the front end and the back end. And the interesting thing about it is that you can make use of like in Django itself, you will make use of some front end technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, and the rest of them. So Python can be used for both front end and for back end development. So the next is Python can be used as a software to create workflows. Python can connect to database systems. Yes, it can also read and modify files. Now, there is what we call in that's Django itself. Django can be used for both front end and back end. The back end itself is like creating a database system whereby users' details or information can be stored. So that is basically for that. So Python can be used to handle big data and perform complex mathematics. Now this big data now is where data analysis comes in. Data analysis, machine learning, and the rest of them comes in. Yeah. So Python can be used for rapid prototyping and for production ready software development. Yeah, it can be used for standalone applications. For instance, now you can develop an application like a user interface like just that has maybe logo. There is one particular layer called um, Tikeeper. We'll still get to that. So you can use to kind of develop like small apps that has widgets, buttons, input and of them. So you can use Python to develop like a standalone application. Standalone application is so that it is just built for a particular purpose. Yeah. So you can develop an application that will just be serving you a specific function within your home settings. So now let's move to why Python. Why is Python? You can see that Python is a versatile programming language, is well known. Now if you build Python anywhere, just anywhere you get to, people use Python. So why people kind of take interest in Python programming language? And the first reason is this: it can work platforms. It's not platform dependent. Now it's not platform dependent and platform independent. Now Python is platform independent. It can work in different platforms like on Windows, on Mac, or Linux. Now if you have Windows like currently now your system, if you go to Python's homepage to download Python, they have different platforms. Like you can use if you want to download platform Python for Windows, Python for it works like for different platforms. Now it has a simple syntax. Now what do I mean by syntax? Now every programming language, we'll still come to this, we'll come to talk about it in this Python syntax. Now every programming language has its syntax. Syntax is just like a structure, how the a kind of how you write your codes, and yeah, how you write your codes. For instance, now if you want to like declare a variable, there is a syntax for declaring the variable. If you want to assign value to variables, there is a syntax for assigning value to variables. So syntax is just like the structure of a programming language, how the programming language structures the codes. Now, so Python has syntax that allows developers to write programs with fewer lines than some other programming languages. Yes, instead of writing very lengthy programs, you can write a very, for instance, now, if you want to say, just check, okay, let me accept. Okay, welcome. Now, I'm going to write Python, and I said Python has it allows you to write programs with fewer lines. Now, for instance, if you want to write hello world in C++, it will take a very lengthy code, like lengthy lines of code. But if you want to say hello world, all you have to do is just type just words. They're coming. Just print hello world. Python, it has like you can just with 4 lines of code, you've written, you've done your print something wonderful. So now it runs on an interpreter system. Now Python has what we call an interpreter. The reason why I'm explaining this basics so that we understand it better. Now Python has an interpreter. Now what helps to interpret, like an interpreter in Python just has like somewhere that helps to interpret your statements. For instance, now it's just like you give it, what the computer understands is 1 and 0. So the interpreter helps to kind of take those texts. For instance, now this hello world, what helps to bring out this result is that the interpreter receives the text, and then it kind of helps the computer to like make the computer to understand what is being given to it. So Python makes use of interpreter to interpret the text to the computer itself, because the computer does not understand text. It only understands zeros and one. They are programmed to understand zeros and one. So the computer takes those texts, like this hello world, and breaks it down to zeros and one, so in a way that the computer can understand it. Are you following? Hello? Hello?
Yes, we are following.
Alright. I hope you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me continue. Now let me start with that. Now the first, okay, let programming language, there are different programming paradigms or programming the coded paradigm. We have procedural, we have object oriented, we have functional. I'll still get to that. I'll still get to that area. So Python can be kind of can be treated or can you can write Python codes like in a procedural way as an object oriented language, like it's an object oriented language, and also serves as a functional programming language. I'll still come to that. But let's just continue from where we now. But you know, the most recent major version of Python is Python 3. Now, Python has different versions, and the funniest thing is it keeps updating. Like if you check now, the recent version of Python. Let me do something on my system. Okay. I want to check the recent, like the version of like okay Python 11.7. Now if you go online now, you see that there is a recent version of Python. The version keeps the version of Python keeps updating it. They keep updating it. So now for you to write Python codes, there's what we call integrated development environment. I know we might have understand this like some persons, but the reason why I'm starting from this area now. For you to write Python codes, there's what we call integrated development environments. I need you to understand these basics. So after understanding these basics, it will be quite easier for you to continue to understand any other difficult concepts. So now an IDE is an integrated development environment. Let me write it as well. Integrated development environments. We have PyCharm, we have NetBeans, we have Jupyter Notebook, we have Atom, and the rest of them. Now this applications I just mentioned now are integrated development environment where you write your Python code. Where you write your Python code. So that is basically that for that. Now let's look at Python syntax. Remember what I said before? Let me just come to the syntax area so I can take a look at what I mean. Okay. Now syntax is just like the structure. Remember what I said? The structure of like a program itself, a programming language. One of the interesting thing about Python is that it has the syntax is kind of designed in like similar to English language in the sense that let's take a look at this. It says print. Print hello world. I don't know what this thing is saying. Print. It means okay. You're telling the interpreter to give you to print out this hello world. I can tell it print. Just watch. Very simple syntax. 2 plus 4 plus 3. And I run it. It was false. So it has a very simple syntax. Very readable. Very readable. Now, if a Python uses new lines to complete a command, as opposed to other programming languages often use semicolons or parentheses. Now, in Python, if you're familiar with C++ or JavaScript, now new lines means, for instance, take a look at this. If you want to enter another line, you can see that here now, I didn't end before I'm telling semicolon. Python doesn't end before with maybe semicolon or parentheses, no. Just with a new line. as it is like this. I can just click run and it will run. Unlike other programming languages like JavaScript, I will have to end a line with a semicolon or a colon. I hope this one is clear. Okay. Now, the next is Python relies on indentation using white space to define scope, filter scope, groups. Okay. Now, one thing about that we need to be careful about Python is that it's like relies on indentation. Take a look at this. Let me do something. Now, I spoke something about no, for instance, if I want to define, I say def add a b. Now, just take a look. If I want to make it a return statement, I have to move it to this add place, because if I start my return statement here, it's very long. So Python is very critical about indentation. I think we know what indentation means. It's very critical about indentation. So first I'm gonna return a times b, and I want to print out this result. So result is equal to add sorry add 5 and 6. Just watch. So that's it. So Python is very very sensitive to indentation. Now watch. If I move this result to where this return is, just watch what will happen. Watch what will happen. Watch what will happen. I've seen it now. Result is not defined. So it's outside this result now is inside the function. But if you want to print or make use of the function, you must kind of call it, use it outside, not inside. So that is why now is very sensitive to indentation. So I have to do it, move this result to move it outside of, like, to be in line with the function, out of the function. That's why in Python, in calling the function, you must kind of call it outside, not move it inside. So this is also one of the areas that indentation in Python is very, very critical to know about. So now let's move on to the next. I hope you're following, although I'm recording this last, so I hope you're following. Please, I need your response. I hope you're following. Alright. I think we've started Python already. So let's move on to we've started Python already. So I said something about syntax. It's very simple. Now let's not talk about this Python indentation so that you understand it better. Now indentation refers to the spaces at the beginning of a code line. Now watch. Now in Python, indentation is very, very important because it makes us able to kind of indicate a print 5 is equal to 2. Let's run it and see. What will happen? 5 is equal to 2. Now watch. If I move this print, if I move it to this print side, what will happen? I see it now. Indentation error. Now, if you see anything like different type of error, you can have syntax error, you can have indentation error, you can have type error. There are different types of error in Python. You can have exception error. Now, if something like that happens and you want to quickly identify or debug what the problem is, just come to this where this error is. It will tell you indentation error. Now you now read. It said expected an indented block. It said expected an indented block where in line 2. Now you now check line 2. Okay, if you say expected an indented block, then you have to give this print like a tab. Just on your laptop, on your keyboard, just tab. If you can tab, it will give it an indent, like it will rotate that print, showing that this line of code is performing its own function. If and print, there are different lines of code. Indentation just helps to a kind of tell you, okay, this is what this line of code is doing. Now, if you say if and print, if you put them in the same line, if you say okay, you are doing the same thing, they're not doing the same thing. If is doing its own, the if statement is doing its own, the print is doing its own function. So that is why if you put them in the same line, it will show an indentation error because Python is very like text indentation very important. So you have to move it a tab and run it. So that's why it gives you the answer. So let me come again. So understand this indentation very well. Now again, indentation is used to indicate a block of code. A block of code is used to indicate a block of code. Now let me reiterate it again. You see this if 5 is greater than 2, is the way the code itself is like the conditional statement is performing like is a conditional statement that if function. Now this print and is a line of code performing its own function. Now this print is a line of code. But what helps to a kind of define or tell, okay, this is what this line of code is doing. This print now you can put it together with what where the if starts from. You have to indent it to separate it. That okay, this one is performing a specific function. So they cannot be in the same line. I think one other thing that's indentation does is for you to be able to a kind of it creates like for you to be able to work with the codes. For instance, now you say if 5 is greater than 2, the next one here, if you now put it together like this, is not reasonable. But it is in this way. If this is this, print this. Okay. You already want it. Okay, this is the if statement, and this one is printing the condition. It's printing the condition. Now take a look at this. This if is a block of code. If I remove this column, just watch what will happen. Watch what will happen. Now, what can I see? Syntax error, right? Please, let's see the screen. Hello, blessings. Can you see my screen? Okay, let me continue. So, you see syntax error, invalid syntax. Now, you go check, okay, what is syntax error? You know that in defining an if statement, there must be a colon. A colon ends the definition of any function in Python. If statement. Okay, I think that one is clear. Let me continue. So in summary, what indentation does is variability.
Go
And
back.
is it?
I didn't get that part. You talked about
I can't really. You can type the question. I can't really get you. You can type the question. I'll look at it and respond. Now the first thing is, remember what I said. If you omit, if you skip the indentation, it's going to send an indentation error. They made a mistake here. It's not syntax error. It's not syntax. It's indentation error. It's going to give you an indentation error, not syntax error. Let's check so that you see what I mean. If I do this and I click run, also what I'll be seeing is an indentation error. So now the number of spaces is up to you as a program. The most common use is 4, but it has to be at least 1. So the number of spaces is a kind of depends on you. For instance, now spaces you must put must be more than like at least 1, so that it won't throw out indentation error. Comment, my laptop is booting. Is okay. Now let's practice something. So I said the indentation must be at least 1. Now let's use it 1, 2. Remember, if you do this way, it will throw indentation error. So what's now just know that Python takes indentation very important. So if I put 1 tab, let me put 2 tabs so that we'll take a look at what will happen. I've seen it now. 5 is greater than 2. So the indentation, like the space you're going to give to it, to this next line of code, must be at least 1, 2, or 4. So that one is that for that. So you have to use the same number of spaces in the same block code, otherwise Python will give you syntax error. So if you have something of this kind, check.
See what will happen here. Let's see what will happen. Remember,
if you follow the red line, it means is there is already an error. If you see this writing, there's already an error. So because it's not indented. It's not indented. It's not like this. It's not that indented. You don't use space. You use tab to embed your lines of code. You don't use space. Just look at power space. It should be already. But if I use this one like this, you must use that tab. Let's check what will happen now. I see now. See, indentation error. One indent does not match any outer indentation level. So what I have to do is you remove one of these and work with this one. Run it. So that's that for that. Okay, I think I've explained variables already, right? You understand what variables are, right? Hello. Hello, can you hear me? I need your response so that I will know if you are with me or not.
Yes, sir. I hear you. I
Okay.
hear you.
Alright, Braden, are you with me? Can you hear me? Bro, Ebenezer, can you hear me? Bro, Bryce, can you hear me? Bro, Bryce. Hello, Blessings, are you with Alright, hello, Blessings, are you with us? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Blessings. Blessings, can you hear me? Okay, let me continue. So we've discussed what Python variables are, and I think let's not waste our time. Now let me explain what's now there's what we call comments. Comments. Now in software development, we need to kind of document what we are doing. Now, what helps you to kind of there's what we call in-code documentation. For instance, now if I want to write, if I want to say, okay, let's watch. So you write a program and post the name of an institution. Now this write a program to is a comment. We use this hash symbol to write comments. Now this thing now, if you take a look at it, if I write the program now, you will now know, okay, this is what this line of code is doing. Now that's it. I see that now. What's the name of an institution? This line of code, I just call the same way. Is a program that prints the name of an institution. So this thing now you're not saying is a comment. We use it for like an in-code documentation that tells you what that line of code is doing. I hope that is clear. So let me continue. So we've talked about comments, talk about variables. Let's touch data types. Come on. Okay, catch me. If you're with me, just type, just put in the comment section. Let me know. Instead of if you don't want to talk, just put in the comment section. I'm with you, so that I can continue. If you're following, just type in the comment section. I'm with you, then I can continue. I'm recording this, so you can go back and rewatch it. So you have access to it. Now, there's what we call data types in computer programming itself. Or let me bring it this way. In real life, we have different will I say objects. Different objects, like we have phones, we have wristwatch, we have different kind of this. Now they have their particular purpose, and they have what they like, what they're made up of. Now in programming, one of the core things that we need to understand is what we call data and types. There are different types of data. It can be numerical, it can be like text. Are you following me? So Python works with data types. It works with data types, and there are some data types that are inbuilt, like they come by default. Now remember what I said, that data types are just like the different the different forms of data that are available in Python. Different forms of data that Python can handle. Now, the built-in data types, built-in is that they come with, like, they are kind of structured inside the Python program itself. Now, we have different types of inbuilt data types. We have the string. This string str is a text type. So the if you are dealing with text in Python, the data type is string. That's why you see this str is a symbol, like an acronym to representing string. So Python can handle text data, it can handle string. Remember, let me come again. Data types, we have, okay, I think is something that is more, that is explanatory. Different types of or different forms of data that Python can handle. It can handle text type, it can handle numeric types. Now numeric types, we have integers, we have floats, we have complex numbers. Now you might have heard of complex number in mathematics. Yeah, Python can handle complex numbers. So we also have sequence types. Sequence types where we have lists. Now all these data types, we are going to like learn about them one after the other, the operations and how to make use of them to carry out some important operations in Python. So we have tuple under sequence types. We have range, that is, it falls under sequence types. Then we have mapping type. Now this mapping type is what actually I use it majorly in maybe if you want to pre-process my data set, if you want to develop to like train a machine learning model. Now if you want to convert categorical values to numerical values like text to numbers, I make use of dictionary. I create dictionaries and then map the values inside the dictionary. That's what we call mapping type. For instance, just take a look at what happened. Just watch. Let me do example of a dictionary. So the syntax for an equal to sign, an equal to sign, and this braces open brackets, close brackets. Now if I say okay, I want to, if this male, I want to convert male, let male be 1, female be 0. Now on the data sets, this dictionary, anywhere it says male, it will convert it to 0 to 1. Anywhere it says female, it will convert it to 0. So that is one of the data types that we'll be working with in machine learning when it comes to the aspect. So we have set types. We have set like a list of objects in mathematics. Yeah, so we'll still come to the aspect. We have frozen sets, which falls under the set types of Python data types. We have Boolean where we have true or false, Boolean type. Then we have binary types. So we have bytes, byte area, memory view. We'll still get to like see what each of these data types means. Now we have non-type, like null values, null data types. So that is basically the types of data types we have. We have the text type, the numeric types, sequence types, mapping types, set types, boolean types, binary types, and non-types. So let's just get to the data type. Now, for you to know the type of data you are working with. Now if I say value 1 equal to 5, print type value 1. Now for you to know the type of let's say the type of data type, that is in value 1. Remember that this value 1 is a variable. It's a variable that is holding the value 5. For me to know the type, what type does this 5 fall under? Does it fall under string? Does it fall under integer? So I use this type function. This is type. As a function, type keyword is a specific keyword that is reserved for like to know the type of data type that is inside the variable. So if I click print now, what should happen? Okay, I have a question, but right. But now?
I was not seeing it.
Eh, can you see it now?
I'm seeing it now.
Alright. Alright. Okay, so this you said, what's the reason for the syntax error? Now, if, for instance, let me remember, let me do something.
Hello.
I said syntax deals with like the particular structure. Like every programming language has its own structure, has its own like way of writing or defining a particular code. For instance, now if I want to print hello world in JavaScript or in Java, mm, Java has its own syntax, like its own structure for printing or for writing or for displaying hello. Python has its own structure. Now, if I don't follow that structure, if I don't follow that pattern of Python, it's going to throw a syntax error. For instance, now, if maybe I want to define a function, I say def add. Okay, let me just a simple one. I'm trying to explain what the syntax error means from what you said. What's the reason for the syntax error? If it doesn't follow the structure, it will throw a syntax error. Is that understood? Hello? Hello, is that understood? Hello? You said?
I didn't get the explanation you gave.
So I said every programming language has its structure. Now, structure in the sense that, okay, this is the, it also like the style, the pattern of how to kind of write the code. For instance, now, if I want to write um hello world in Java, is different from the way I'm going to write hello world in Python. I'm coming. Let me show you something. Just I'm coming. Let me start presenting. Just hold on. Oh, so in actual sense, syntax deals with the structure of the programming language. Oh my, the thing has ended.